We all grew up thinking that the cartoons that shaped our childhood came from the United States, but the truth is very different. Did you know there's a big chance that at least one of your favorite cartoons wasn't created in Uncle Sam's land? Bluey. That's exactly the case with the most watched cartoon in the world right now. Bluey! Created by Joe Brum, this adorable little Australian Bluey healer has won over the world with her charm and playful spirit. Not to mention making grown-ups cry with 7-minute episodes. Produced by Ludo Studio, based in Fortitude Valley, Queensland, and distributed by Disney, Bluey hit the world stage in 2018 and is already in its 3rd season, with a movie on the way that promises to tug at even more heartstrings. The show is considered one of the best animations of our time because it pulls off something rare, entertaining kids while also making adults reflect on life. And all of this with a family of dogs. Speaking of which, all the characters are talking dogs who walk, drive, pay bills, and love to play. It's like the canine world evolved, except for cats and other animals, who, unfortunately, still only appear as pets. Weird? Maybe. Cute? Absolutely. But if you think only Americans know how to create cartoons that define generations, it's time to open your mind and your remote. Come join us for another video. Peppa Pig. If you were a kid before 2010, chances are you've seen a certain little pig jumping in muddy puddles. Yep, we're talking about Peppa Pig. Created by 3 British friends in 2004, this show has been going strong for over 20 years and still keeps crossing generations, driving parents around the world crazy with its repetitive but strangely catchy theme song. The story revolves around Peppa, a little pig with a big personality who lives with her family in a small town in the UK countryside. And don't think it's a world full of only pigs. In Peppa Pig, diversity rules. There are rabbits, zebras, elephants, cats, dogs, all living together like good anthropomorphic neighbors. Of course, with daily chaos, like Miss Rabbit, who apparently works in every single government office, healthcare job, transportation service, retail store, construction site, and possibly even NASA. Oh, and there's breaking news. The pig family has grown. Baby sister Evie has arrived, bringing even more cuteness and chaos to this universe where no one ages, but everyone learns something new by the end of each episode. Gumball. Brought to life by a bunch of rejected character designs that turned things around and conquered the world, we have the Amazing World of Gumball! This brilliant animation was created by Ben Bocquelet, who's French, and it tells the story of a hyperactive 12-year-old blue cat and his adopted brother Darwin, a goldfish who grew legs, got a brain, and built up quite the troublemaking resume. They live in the wonderfully weird town of Elmore, where literally anything can happen. There, the two dive into the craziest situations with the help of their not-so-normal neighbors and even weirder friends. Imagine having a talking banana, a peanut with antennae, and a T-Rex as classmates. Yep, welcome to Elmore. The series was produced by Cartoon Network Europe, based in England, together with Irish studio Boulder Media and German studio Soy. It premiered in 2011 and is still a hit today thanks to its sharp humor, unique visual style, and a world where nothing makes sense, but everything is hilarious. Gumball may be blue, but his humor is super colorful. And Chaos? That's basically his middle name. Despicable Me. This animation is a hit with kids, adults, and even aspiring villains. Despicable Me won the world over with a very unusual main character, a soft-hearted villain named Gru. And despite what most people think, it's actually a French animation. Created by Pierre Coffin and Chris Renaud, the movie was released in 2010 and has been a global phenomenon ever since, mainly thanks to its mischievous little helpers, the Minions. Yep, those yellow, talkative, slightly chaotic creatures that seem like a science experiment gone wrong involving bananas and too much coffee. In the original plot, Gru has a simple, low-key plan: steal the moon. But along the way, he ends up getting involved with 3 adorable girls and starts rethinking his career as a professional villain. While Gru tries to juggle supervillain duties with adoptive fatherhood, the Minions steal the show and the audience's hearts with their crazy antics and that language of theirs, which sounds like a mix of Spanish, French, English, and blender noises. The success was so huge that the Minions got their own spin-off movies, exploring their backstory. Today, these little yellow guys have a massive fan base and remain pop culture icons, even if no one really knows what they're saying. Minecraft. If you've ever seen a square sun, pixelated cows, or tried to run from a zombie with just a shovel in hand, you were probably playing Minecraft. Created by Swedish developer Marcus Notch Persson in 2011, the game started off simple, almost like a hobby project, but quickly turned into a worldwide craze. Now, even with a movie, blockbuster ticket sales, and fans of all ages, the basic idea of the game? Survive, but not in the usual way. Here, you wake up in a world made entirely of blocks and have to gather resources, craft tools, build shelters, and hope you don't get attacked by zombies, skeletons, or that annoying creeper that blows everything up just because it can. What makes Minecraft so charming is exactly its blocky, low-res look, where the sun is a glowing cube, trees look like stacked shoeboxes, and yet, somehow, everything works perfectly. Your creativity is the limit. Build castles, farms, entire cities, or even recreate the Eiffel Tower using dirt blocks, and a lot of patience. And as if that weren't enough, the game became so popular that Minecraft jumped from the gaming screen to the big screen, with a story expanding its pixelated universe for a whole new generation. Bet you didn't imagine this worldwide hit came from Sweden, right? Before we dive into the other 14 cartoons from different countries, drop a comment below saying animation Winkx. Another magical hit that took the world by storm, especially among fans of sparkle and intergalactic drama, was Winkx Club. Created by Eugenio Straffi and launched in 2004, the series was produced in Italy and distributed by Nickelodeon, becoming a true global sensation. The story follows Bloom, a seemingly ordinary girl who discovers she's actually one of the most powerful fairies in the universe. After witnessing her kingdom being destroyed and her family mysteriously disappearing, Bloom is adopted by a family on Earth. But fate gives her a little push, and she ends up attending Alfea, a school for fairies where she meets her future best friends and battle partners. Together, they form the Winkx Club, a group of stylish fairies who fight against evil forces, cosmic villains, jealous witches, and every kind of magical threat you can imagine. And all of that without ever losing their fabulous fashion sense. Masha and the Bear. A show that's captured the hearts of kids and adults all over the world is Masha and the Bear. Inspired by Russian folklore, this charming animation follows the adventures of a super energetic 3-year-old girl with zero sense of danger, who becomes best friends with a retired circus bear who is just hoping for a little peace and quiet. Poor guy. And the success is real. Masha and the Bear became a YouTube phenomenon, with episodes translated into dozens of languages and even fan-made videos where people recreate scenes with real bears. Yup, some folks actually decided to adopt a bear as a pet. Spoiler alert, not recommended. With its adorable animation style, visual humor, and heartwarming friendship lessons, this unlikely duo proved that sometimes calm doesn't beat the storm. But occasionally, it does give in and makes tea for it. Miraculous, relatively new, but already holding a special place in many fans' hearts. Miraculous. Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir came onto the scene in 2015, created by Thomas Astruc and produced in France. The series follows 2 ninth-grade students, Marinette and Adrien, who seem to lead normal school lives until they transform into superheroes to save Paris from total chaos. Because of course no homework is more urgent than stopping the end of the world, right? Marinette becomes the powerful Ladybug, rocking her red and black polka dot suit and serious agility skills. Adrien turns into Cat Noir, the mysterious hero with a massive crush on his partner in crime fighting. Together, they face villains created by the sinister Hawk Moth, who has a weird hobby, turning ordinary citizens into supervillains with just one bad day and one evil butterfly. The animation caught the attention of critics and fans with its polished graphics, action-packed scenes, and a healthy dose of teen romance, full of misunderstandings, secret identities, and that classic drama of unspoken crushes. Thomas and Friends. Let's rewind a bit and talk about a classic that made, and still makes, a big splash outside the UK. Thomas and Friends. Just like Peppa Pig, this animation also comes straight from the Queen's land and was first created back in 1984. Yep, when phones still had cords and nobody was making TikTok dance videos. The story takes place on the island of Sodor, a magical place where trains, helicopters, buses, and even cranes talk. And not just casual chit-chat, they've got personalities, existential crises, and sometimes full-blown jealousy issues over who's more useful. Thomas, the most famous blue train on TV, is the star of this track-bound crew, going on adventures packed with moral lessons, friendship, responsibility, and teamwork. Though it may seem simple, the show has an irresistible charm. Tracks full of challenges, a boss named Sir Toppin Hat who always keeps his cool, and episodes that cover mistakes, forgiveness, and even knowing when to slow down. Literally. And now's the perfect time for you, if you haven't already, to subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss any of our latest videos. Jackie Chan. Martial arts have always been a hit around the world, but one character who really stood out was none other than Jackie Chan himself. The master of stunts and epic fight scenes even got his own animated series that ran from 2000 to 2005, produced by John Rogers, Dwayne Capizzi, and Jeff Kline. This show was partially made in the US and partially in China. Maybe that was the secret ingredient behind its success. In this animated adventure, Jackie isn't alone. He's got help from his uncle, his niece Jade, and their friends to protect the talismans, magical objects full of power that need to be kept far away from an evil demon determined to destroy Earth. The show became a massive hit, especially in China, but it also won over fans all around the world. After all, Jackie Chan isn't just a movie star, he's practically the definition of fast-paced martial arts and guaranteed laughs. Kailu, another show that many people swear is American, but actually came from Canada, is Kailu. Based on the books by author Christine Leheureux and illustrator Alain Desputeaux, the show first aired in 1997 and quickly won over audiences with its simple educational style. The series follows the daily life of Kailu, a curious little boy with a million questions about the world. With the help of his family and friends, he learns about emotions, routines, friendship, and how to handle life's little challenges. It may not have explosive action, but Caillou found its place through pure heart and tenderness. El Chavo, animated. El Chavo is a classic Mexican series that stole the hearts of multiple generations from 1973 to 1980. Created by Roberto Gomez Bolaños, the famous Chespirito, this simple, joke-packed comedy became a phenomenon not just in Mexico, but in many countries worldwide. In 2006, producers decided to give the show a makeover and launched an animated version, which became pretty popular and stayed on the air until 2014. Of course, not everything was perfect. The character Chiquinha was left out of the cartoon due to legal issues and copyright disputes. If you know the history, you know the legal battle over using Chiquinha in other productions is a whole separate drama, almost as confusing as Señor Madruga's schemes to avoid paying rent. Even so, the animated show kept the spirit of the original alive, with all of Chavo's classic misadventures, and a new wave of fans discovering the most famous neighborhood on TV, Angry Birds. Did you know the world's grumpiest and most addictive birds came straight from Finland? That's right! Angry Birds was born from the creative minds at Rovio Entertainment, a Finnish company that launched this game-turned-global craze back in 2009. With their explosive birds and egg-stealing pigs, Angry Birds won fans of all ages, spawned dozens of game versions, movies, and even a theme park. Jorge's brother, Mauo Jorel. To wrap up this list with a Brazilian touch, we couldn't leave out Mauo Jorel. Created by Juliano Enrico in 2012 and released in 2014, this cartoon shows the everyday life of a not-so-conventional family packed with hilarious situations and super quirky characters. Despite the title, the main character isn't Jorel, it's actually his younger brother, an 8-year-old kid who lives in the shadow of his super famous older brother and ends up being the true narrator of all this chaos. With help and advice from Grandma Juju, he faces family drama, school problems, and a world that seems tailor-made to confuse kids. It's true that the United States has some of the world's top animation studios. After all, giants like Disney, Pixar, and Cartoon Network were born there. But don't think success depends on that alone. If you love the world of Bluey and all things animation, we've got 2 awesome videos you're gonna love watching next. Thanks for hanging out with us, and see you next time!